Have you ever wondered where the milk you drink comes from? A comm of 1 million Irish dairy
More than a
cows
billion
produced.
liters of
This
milk
is a
per
year's
year.
work for a cattle farmer. Milk farming. When the ice melts and the snow Spring
falls.
is coming, and the scene is coming alive.
After a winter raised indoors,
The island's dairy cows are returning to the field. The days became longer, and as the sun warmed, the dairy farmers are excited because their cows will eat fresh grass again. Wind and frost cause a lot of damage. You can see the colors on the grass. It's turned brown. It should be green, but it's lost its color because of the cold. Although this year, the winter was unusually
The island's
temperate
harsh.
climate often creates some of the best conditions for cows,
breeding.
and spring are a special time. For me, it's the best time of the year. Day long, the sun is shining and the cows are out. I like it. At the time of spring, the farmer is really busy. There's green grass growing in March and April. And there are daffodils outside the garden with the birds singing. The cows are giving a lot of milk, and they're going into the milking room with their breasts full. The lives of dairy cows soon fell into a daily
motif.
Grazing and milking. I've been farming since I was 15. At this stage, it's almost 55. People used to drink unprocessed cow's milk, but today it's a complex commodity product to be treated, sterilized, and sell for us in a carton box in full fat form. Ice cream cup, or selling ice cream cup. Milk here certainly did not meet the standards of today. There is no TBC test. There is no milk analysis test. As long as the milk doesn't sour, it's acceptable. And there are times when it can degenerate a little bit. But no one said anything. We lived in a different world. But today, cow's milk is not just for drinking. Milk becomes butter, cheese, and yogurt, and a large number of specialized products and other food ingredients, from protein, whey, and lactose fat to pizza toppings. Milk powder and formula. Milk is big and amazing business. 85% of the milk from island cows is exported. To support this level of production, modern dairy cows have been bred selectively to breed. Cows can produce large amounts of milk. But a cow can only produce milk when she gave birth to a calf. The calves, this baby was born just a few months ago. As they enjoy their drinks in the spring sun. It's time for you to leave me pregnant again. Spring is the breeding season. Today, for many farmers, AI technicians replaced the bull for artificial insemination. Has become the preferred method of making a cow. One. Straws that are in liquid nitrogen are kept frozen. So I just need to get a straw out of there and put it in the winter vase. If it doesn't actually thaw, the sperm will break, and they can't do their job. I put my hand in the cow's rectum. Through the membrane, I can actually grab the cervix. I slipped the tip of the gun through the cervix, let it stick in the uterus. The uterus splits into two tubes if you push it into a hose, and the eggs don't fall in that spout, then you missed it. I just need to slowly deposit the semen into the uterus. Sperm use is expensive and wasteful. AI technology was not successfully implemented. Some farmers are testing AI methods themselves. It's a pretty simple job. It's a very simple idea. Mr. Hill's farm in Bland County, Toad. This takes a little patience. When I was growing up, there were about 60 or 70 cows. My father raised more than 100, and then we raised 240 cows. What I noticed, you need to do it calmly, and the animal is also kept calm. Mitchell's cow, they're only transplanted when they're male, the beginning of the breeding season. Right here on the tail, I've got some paint. When the cow in the breeding season, they'll climb on top of each other. The paint on the tail is rubbed off, and that's a pretty good sign. It shows that they're moving. Paint streaks like a scratch card when the silver crust peels off. That's when the animals are. Any cow, which one is not pregnant, first time will be done in their next cycle. I'll have another chance with them in 3 weeks. Then I'll let the bulls out in the 3 weeks. After 2 rounds of some cows will still not get pregnant. This is the opportunity that the bulls have been waiting for. There's no time for official introductions. They're allowed to mate. The big day of the bulls. It was their first day out with the cows. The ones that are blue are the ones that haven't been transplanted. The ones that are red are the ones that have been transplanted. The bull will just follow the estrus cow. That's the bull's advantage at this point. In 5, that can be a bit confusing. And you can actually restrain the cows, thanks to the AI method. But the bull doesn't make that mistake. Your natural instincts will tell you what to do. The bull is not picky about any color. Nature tells him what to do, so I don't have to pay. With breeding bulls, there's a couple of chances. Some farmers are quite satisfied when using breeding bulls and have healthy cows. Even if the cows are pregnant, thanks to bulls or AI methods, a successful breeding will determine the farmer's profits in the following year. But for the cows, the breeding season is even more important. It's a matter of life or death. Any of these cows do not carry. This year, they will be removed from the herd. General at the end of the 12-week breeding season of cows. I've got about 8% of the cows that aren't pregnant. So the pregnancy rate is 92%, which is pretty good. Because the cow will only produce milk after giving birth, so a cow without a calf won't work. But the farmer didn't just find a way for my one to. He needs them to give birth to calves. Only the calves are valuable. You hope it will grow to its lineage. Its genes will stay in the colony, and you get a little bit of hope when you see a male calf. The earning potential of a female calf of the dairy breed, if it stays in the herd, will bring you about 1,200 to 1,300 years. In Dreamville Spring, it's the end of the male calves' lives. On Alan Kingston's farm, they're exported to 6 places. Cover your face or turn sandwich. Into meat. We only keep the calves here. The males are of no use to us, so they're sold to beef farms. Frisian cows tend to be a little thinner. As you can see, this cow is rounder and fatter. It will give a lot of meat. This one won't give much meat. We only raise dairy cows, so we love the cows here. We just want more fresher cows, to be able to choose the best ones. A trip to the market is always expected. Will there be a buyer, and how much will it cost? Buyers and sellers converge at Bandon Market to sell calves in the spring. There's a lot of calves here today. At least 1,500 or 1,600 calves. So when people talk about a cattle market, there's actually a busy market here this morning. Many buyers are looking to buy beef for export. There's also a lot of farmers who buy bees there. You can stop selling. If you are not satisfied with the price, you just tell the auction house not to sell. He'll deliver that message. Then you have to bring the calf home. They sold it about 10 minutes ago for a good price. Today, the calves are selling very quickly. A good price is relative. With the calves being Frisia, sold for only 30 euros, you start to understand the economics of production. When you charge it all, it costs a lot of calves to lose money. The ability of a bull to make money, it's zero for me. It's a cost. With the money earned and the calves get off the farm, the breeding season is over. As summer approaches, milk production increases. The demand for grass will reach its peak, and the time for grass is coming very fast. In the summer, the cows are busy producing milk, a modern dairy farm designed for easy milking and give grass maximum growth. Across the boundaries of the farm, trees and fences are removed to create large grazing sites. The farm is typically 15 to 25 acres and up to 30 acres of land. Cows always go to the places with the highest grass to graze first. The long, straight roads that bisect the farm let the cows go straight to the feeding ground. The area around the reception room is called milking floor. This floor can supply raw material for butter reception rooms and barns. It's a place that holds cows in the winter, in the summer, and milks them. To build this barn, I had to move 125,000 tons of rock, not just because I want it here. It's because this is where it needs to be, so I can focus it all in one area, close to the milking room. Modern dairy farm formed thanks to initiatives developed in New Zealand. And today, Tom proud of being the host to host a group of New Zealand dairy farmers. Welcome all of you. Of course, I have to say that we're always afraid of New Zealanders because they're a serious threat to us. New Zealand accounts for a third of the world's milk production, and many of their initiatives have been widely copied in the island's dairy industry. Innovations such as Mr. Thung's rotary milking room. His cows look milked 2 times 1 a day. When they walk into the studio, their card is registered by the computer. It calculates how much food each cow needs, and when the cow leaves the studio, it records the amount of milk produced. My ambition is, yes, a non-stop milking room. I think it's an ideal way to milk cows. It doesn't matter if you have a slow cow. It's not going to stop the whole system. It's easier for operators. You can increase the number without any trouble, because it milks 60 cows at a time. For Tom, the spinning system is a big investment, but it's also a statement of trust. I remember the first time I started talking to people about the idea of a rotating system. They looked at me and said it must be broken. When you invest, there's always an element of gambling. Some of the biggest mistakes I made must be throughout life. It's doing things that are too small. And now I could be accused of doing too much. I have a lot of money, and I owe a lot of money. We're milking 620 cows. Need to milk more than 700 towards the goal of milking 1,000 cows. In New Zealand, the farms tend to be pretty similar, while here, the scale of the farm varies greatly. Due to assistive technology, so trends around the world is that the scale is getting bigger and bigger. The average size of the dairy herd on the less than 100 cows. The cattle that I went to, it's an average size of about 600. I've counted a lot of cows around here. Scale allowing farmers to maximize economy by scale. Michan Heist also has a milking room. Get inspired from a system developed in New Zealand. For him, milk appeal is cost. It's different from many milking systems that you see in Ireland so far because it's very simple. It doesn't even have walls in it. A milker can operate, but in general, we use 2 people for this job. Because it's very simple if something goes wrong. I want the device to continue working for an hour. So I basically didn't set the alarm bells and whistles, because it wouldn't do me any good. The fuel that drives milk production on the island is grass. Cows are highly efficient animals, 4 of their stomachs designed to convert grass into milk. And the more cows eat, the more milk they produce. New Zealand has a similar milk production system. Rely on the grass that gives both countries great competitive advantage in the world market, because compared to cattle eat 5 cheapest and best feed grass. Another technique imported from New Zealand and some Irish farmers. Enthusiastic application is the concept of grass management and measurement. What you need is a new generation. Farmers are now cutting and measuring grass. I've never been happy just predicting what I do. I measure grass from week to week to estimate the amount of food available on the farm and to create a growth rate. Let me go shopping. This utility is a small and simple measuring device. The grass pushed the plate up. This small internal unit measures how much the disc is lifting. And that mathematical equation helps me calculate the amount of grass. 1.774. That means the total is 1,774 kilograms. Grass measurement is a common method in dairy farming in New Zealand. The dairy farmers have really mastered how to manage grasslands to make a profit. With me, weeding is a method for a different type of farmer. Someone told me, so I'm here today to ask the shrimp how he measures grass. Measuring grass doesn't make it grow faster. I believe that people should be trained to observe grass and throw away pieces of iron and cutters. If you can't go into a field and judge how much grass is in it, you're not a good farmer. Thieves may not believe in measurement, but he believed in careful management of the fields throughout the year. Fertilizer, replication, and replanting where needed, so that in the summer, his grass looks like this. What we're going to cut here is for silage. The secret to making good silage food: there are as many leaves as possible. There are always some bodies, but the more leaves in it, the better the quality of the food. It's the perfect weather to brew food. Silage food is simply fermented grass. At this time of year, these fields will produce a lot of grass. Then the cows can eat, and the leftovers are turned into silage food to feed them in the winter. We try to achieve quality rather than quantity. From a plant like that, you get fresh material, about 10 t. 10 t fresh grass for raising cows in winter. Grass is cut and then be left in the field to reach the proper humidity. What you're looking at now is beautiful young grass, many leaves. We'll leave it in about 24 hours, and then we roll it up and we pick it up. Grass is then brought from the field and stored in the silage pit. It's covered in nylon and cut down by the tires. Within 48 hours, the fermentation begins. The grass will be perfectly preserved for the winter. Silage food now has 80 digestible dry matter. It's considered a very good silage food, close to the grass. Silage food doesn't have to be made from grass. What we have here is corn, planted at the end of April. I think the main reason is that after a winter and 2 bad summers, you will definitely prepare for another bad summer. I hope we get lucky, because corn needs a lot of sun. Good luck to Mr. Tom. There's a lot of sunshine this year, back in the same field for months later, and the corn looks green. This is the ideal corn. This year, thanks to good weather, we have complete corn. Makes very good feed for cattle. Whether silage is corn or grass, the purpose is that the cows have enough food in the winter. This time of year on the farm, we're finished mowing the lawn. It's a great feeling when you succeed, and the food pits are covered. It's a turning point in the farm calendar. With silage feed collected 10 and the pits covered, autumn is approaching. The weather has changed seasons. The summer sun has receded into and grass growth slowed down significantly. Cows, too. You don't usually see that when cows are milked. At this time of year, they don't have much milk. They live freely. So don't tell him to hurry. No, I don't want to bother him. At its peak, a cow's udder contains 25 liters of milk. And in the fall, it'll produce milk for 305 days. When the cows are milked in preparation for breeding, the farmer can judge how much milk does your cow produce. Some are more productive. Could have given me almost 6,000 liters. Flocks themselves for an average of about 4,500 liters each. It's fine. I'm very satisfied. 1 cow for 10,000 liters milk. It's something that doesn't exist in my system. In the last 8 or 15 years, there's been a lot of emphasis. It's not about milk volume. It's about milk quality that you produce. Fat is cream or butter, whatever you want to make out of fat. And there's protein. The more fat and the more protein in 1 liter of milk, the cheaper the processing. Both Tom's and Mitchell's milk, processed through the Dairy Gold Cooperative. It's the largest cooperative owned by farmers in the country. We buy about 920,000 liters per year, and we process that milk into a wide range of products. All the dairy farmers on the island must comply with milk quota. Limit the amount of milk they can produce. Milk quotas are reimposed in 1908 April in the EU. Each country at that time assigned a milk quota. The consequences of that is that every dairy producer in this country to be allocated a quota based on their milk supply. Year 198 ba. The quota that I have now is almost 600,000 liters, but I've again exceeded my quota in the last 2 years, simply because the country has run out of quotas. Quota also the amount of money a farmer can earn. When I first built the rotary milking room, it's designed to milk 6,001,000 cows, but I could never reach that number because of the quota constraints. I was lucky. I have good neighbors and can buy land around it to grow as it is today. The quota was abolished in 2015, allowed farmers expand and increase the size of their farms. Now we're expanding our operations. Our survey shows that milk production after 2015 increased by 20% and more. Any farmer who doesn't make any money, my advice to them is to get out of farming. You don't have to do big business to make money. Kingston Island Farm. It's a good example of many dairy farms in the barren hills, who said that when God created the West Coast, you've created too much land, so you have to pile it up, forming hills and mountains. And it's small, there's no chance of expansion. I suppose when I took over the farm, I'm a little naive, and I've really realized how small it is. Fortunately, his wife, Valerie, there was a solution to the limited size of the farm. She suggested they start making their own milk. I suppose I've always dreamed of doing business at home, but no big plan is just an idea. And start taking milk, process it into soft cheese or yogurt. Then take it to the local market and sell these experimental products. Alan didn't take long to realize the benefits of adding value. Milk. When we count the money at the end of the day and found that I made 3 times more than selling milk, then I realized that it had to be more feasible. Suddenly, Ellen was interested because I only took 2 or 3 cans which only gives you about 10 pounds, and we did that together. Valerie no longer makes yogurt, but the milk is still processed on the farm. Make Bakor products like cheese yogurt and cream. And from those 3 products, we've created a wide range of desserts. We do about up to 4,000 cheese pies a week and 10,000 jars of yogurt, so it takes a lot of labor. Today, Glen Island, it's one of the new food brands, the most attractive island. And Island wasn't just a farmer. As well as working in a processing plant, you have to attend international sales conferences. So me and my wife, Valerie, we make all these products on his farm. Look at me as a farmer. Look at my big hand. I like to think of myself as a farmer. I like working on the farm. I'm just a traditional dairy farmer. They want to milk more and produce more milk. I think we're actually producing less milk now, compared to when I was 23. Just like any business, you start small. You grow it little by little. And that's the best way to grow. It's been 13 exciting years. It opens up new doors and you meet people. You never know what tomorrow will bring. For Alan, it could be a trip to the vet to treat a sick cow. The cow's stomach has 4 compartments after childbirth. A stomach compartment that has a little more free space to move inside. I think the cow will be fine. But maybe next time we'll be surprised. We don't know what's in there. While Alan was worried, follow up with veterinarians to adjust the position of the cow's stomach. No matter how successful the yogurt business is, any farmer, Ireland's first cows will always be his. The health of the cattle. This is very important for every farmer. Mitch called the veterinarians to deal with a problem. It can cause blindness if not treated. It's actually like infectious conjunctivitis. Dirt and bacteria can get into the eyes. It causes a small spot in the middle of the eye that can then become an abscess and break off if not treated. Tools. The most useful thing for any farmer is a barn. It is specially designed to safe to leave while checking. TB testing is mandatory. It's very useful when there's no narrow cage. And it's going to be very difficult to test 600 cows without it. It's basically an ultrasonic scanner. It's very similar to what's used in hospitals, but it's obviously a little bit stronger for use for veterinary. I scanned the cow's rectum because I don't think she's more than 4 months pregnant. If she's more than 4 months pregnant, I can do an external scan. You basically insert the head of the thigh into its rectum, and the picture shows here on the screen in front of me. The reason it's marked, it's because she's 4.5 months pregnant. It will be moved somewhere else. You can control them because you can pick out pregnant cows by date of scan. Scans are important for managing the reproduction of cows. It also allows farmers to identify cows pregnant. There is no, what's the point of raising a cow that's no longer productive? We think the rate of non-pregnant cows is now about 11%. When it's close to 10%, I'll be happy. As the autumn sun sets behind the hill, shorter and colder days, the grass has stopped growing, and it's time for the cows to get into the barn where they'll spend the winter. Winter on the dairy farm silence of the snow-covered landscape combined with the silence of abandoned milking rooms. By the end of December, everything had passed. All the animals are in the cage, so they're actually just around feeding in their barns. Relatively quiet days of winter help dairy farmers have time for family. At DreamWorks Alan, he's got his animals in the lead. In the play, Christmas, new things are always exciting. The kids are really excited. We're always looking forward to a challenge in the DreamWorks community. Okay, now, this is what happened. Agriculture Ireland and directly Northern Europe. It's not two phrases you often hear together, but at the Mitries farm, cold weather has created a rare opportunity for some winter sports. It's really new, and the kids are excited about it. I made them from the fenders of an old truck. Beautiful and cheap and effective, help kids walk into ours. Very low temperatures will drop to 0 or -2 degrees Celsius. If the temperature goes up, the grass will come back in a week or two. It's not the end of the world. That's just how God sent it to us. There's a pipeline that's been frozen for 7 days. There's no water flowing through. If I'm young and if I'm a teenager, I will love this weather. But now there's no problem. Water is very important for the cows to keep everything clean. It could be -3 degrees, but inside a reproduction has begun. Every morning this corner is cleaned and washed. Sterilization. Then the straw is covered. I want to reduce the level of disease. Keep the floor from slipping. Don't want the old blood to start smelling. So I clean up every day. This is a concentration area for calves. I sat on the watchtower and turned on the heater. I can see it below. The advantage of a high place like this is when the cows are laying underneath, they don't see AI moving around. They can stop giving birth because there's a tendency to follow you instead of focusing on what they're doing. If the ribs come down, it's a sign that they're going to give birth within 4 hours. You know that by experience. "650 cows will be born in the area. This is in the birth at a rate of up to 30 a day. When B was born, shrimp moves baby away from mother and baby B to a separate 90% of births you don't have to touch. With 5%, you can just support them. And there's always 5% that's going to cause you problems because B is upside down. Having one foot squeezed down, that means they can't get out until you adjust B's position. Push it back and lift the second leg. These are 2 strings. You thread them into B's legs and pull. Okay? And the most important thing is that it's a calf. You will have more money in the bank. That's right. Sometimes giving birth is more difficult. This cow has milk fever and can't give birth on its own. It's about to collapse. This cow should have given birth to Ra 2 hours ago. But because of a mild milk fever, she stopped giving birth. Dairy fever is a calcium deficiency. When a cow starts to secrete milk, her calcium levels drop. If we don't pull Ra, the cow will die in a few hours. But after B was born, mother cow can be treated. Now I'm going to inject calcium Z into the bloodstream. It will cause an immediate reaction. Just a minute or two later, it'll stand up. Every hour more calves are born. On Mitchell's farm, there's a more comfortable approach to childbirth. I don't want to interfere in this process, because the intervention can cause infection. Cow's uterus. So I usually just want them to reproduce themselves. When a cow comes into this world, it's going to get into the industry agriculture immediately. Every calf born must be tagged immediately. It's like a kind of projection attached to them while they're alive. For the rest of my life, this bee is going to be 4866. 4866 will be with you for less than an hour. They'll be separated from me. It's necessary. These cows are not bred to feed calves. They're bred for milk. So they have enough milk to feed about 8 to 10 calves. Mother cows are milked for the first time. Now, it may not like this, but I'll get used to it soon. The milk is returned to the calves. It's colostrum. It's very important for calves as the first food, because that's going to protect them later. After the first meal, 4866 taken with other calves, and the cage is prepared for another birth date. 4866 are only a few hours old. But a female calf, its future is predictable. It will be feeding at the cost of shrimp for 2 years. Then the shrimp will find a way to pay back. Let's say it can give birth on its own. 4866 will have 8 milk births and will be the same as 50,000 liters of milk. The future for dairy farmers. Ours may be harder to predict. I'm at the sunset of my farming career. I'd like to see 1,000 cows milked, but I won't make it. And I'm not sure if there's any AI in my family. I would even plan to do that. When I'm done with this, I'll consider starting another job. We don't care about building. It's just for sale. We want everyone involved in the production at the farm. And there's a number of larger companies that have approached. It's not just a job for us in general. We love what we do. I have no doubt that if I had a job and work hard, I'll make 3 times as much as I make. But life is not just about money. If I'm not proud of it, there's going to be something wrong with me, because I'm not going to do that. It's something I would do if I lived a few more years. It's planting trees in some places to replace the trees I cut down because they're in an inappropriate position. A year on the dairy farm is coming to an end. Con B for 866 are entering their lives in the fields. A new cycle of grazing and milking also begins.